It is that time of the month where we're gonna be choosing our next month's TBR. I love May. It is such a fun month, not only because it is my birthday month, but just because you are so close to summer that you can just smell it and you're just outside even more. I just love the feeling of May, and I thought that it would be a great idea to bring this back and blindly pick our TBR. Now look at this wrapping paper. Look at that. So cute. I think that this screams May. Maybe not for some of you guys. Maybe I might be a little delulu. Maybe it's more of April, but I don't care. When I saw this, I literally thought it was the perfect wrapping paper for May. So what I usually do is I pick the books that are on my top radar and put them up here. These are basically books that have been in here for the longest time, and I don't really include new releases because they're just kind of scattered around and I need to shrink my TBR. So these are books that have been on here for a while. So I pick the books that are kind of on my high radar and just pick from there, and then I number them and put them in here, and then we're just randomly going to choose a number and all of that jazz. It's not to say that I'm not going to read the books that are down here. I am. It's just these are the books that are on my radar. I do love to set an actual TBR just so I can actually get through them, and even though I am more of a mood reader, I do have a lot of variety in here, and so it really just depends on what I'm in the mood for on that day. But I've been doing really well with actually reading the books that I set for myself. For April, I did so good. I'm so proud of myself, so let's give her a little applause. The only book that I didn't read from that set TBR was the second book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. I just decided that I'm not gonna really continue that series right now. I'm gonna put it in pause, but I will get to it later on. I'm just not really in the mood to read that series at the moment. So that's the only book I didn't read. And if you guys want to see my reviews, I do have my Goodreads down below. I had so much fun reading in April, and I'm just so happy with all the books that I read. So yeah, without further ado, let's set our May TBR. This is like the funnest part. I love doing this part where we just choose a number. Okay, so the first number that we're gonna get is 8. Now I don't know which one's which. I only know these two, but I don't know which one's which, and the only reason why is because they're the longest ones or the tallest ones. So let's choose 8. You guys are gonna see first. So the first book that we're going to be reading is Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. This one, obviously, as you guys can tell, it's all about chess. I don't really remember really playing chess. I was more into checkers. All right, next book. 6. This is so fun. Okay, here you guys can see it first. The next book that we're going to be reading is The Big Door Prize. This one I did get recently, and this book I mostly picked up because I do want to read the book and then watch the actual TV show or movie that's on Apple TV. I think that one is actually going to be a really good summer read. I don't know. We'll see. I'll update you guys. Okay, third book. We're going to be choosing 6 because I think that's pretty reasonable and doable. Okay, next book is going to be 5. Okay, these books are pretty small too, which I like. Okay, next book. Ooh, the book proposal. I've actually had this for a little bit, so I'm excited to get through this one. This one has the cutest cover, Chef's Kiss. Okay, fourth one. Okay, 7. I actually did really good with wrapping these. Oh my god, it's so hard. What was I trying to prove? Okay, next book, The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I actually read The 7-Year Slip, loved it, so good, and I'm super excited to read this one. I think this one is also kind of like, has like supernatural involved in it, so I'm super excited. Okay, the next book, the 5th book, 2. All right, so this one is one of the tall books. I might know which one's this one, but probably not. Oh, I knew it. Okay, I wanted to read this one so badly. This one is Hello Stranger by Catherine Center. This is my first book by this author. So this one is super interesting because she actually has face blindness, which means that she can't really see people's faces. Okay, next book. We're at 6. Actually, we're gonna do 7. Why not? Okay, next book is going to be 4. Let's see. What is this with this wrapping paper? What was I thinking? It's so hard. Okay, next book. Butcher and Blackbird. Now, I actually did start this book. I think I got like page 2 or something, and then I just moved on to something else because I was reading different books for a different reading vlog, which will come out probably next week. This one just sounds so interesting. I've never read something like this before that basically involves serial killers and cannibalism. Okay, so we're gonna be picking our last book, number 10. See, you guys are gonna be seeing it first. I've been wanting to read this series for a while because I actually started The Naturals a while back, and I really wanted to start this one. For whatever reason, that series made me want to start this one. While I'm filming this, it is actually a Funny Story release day, so I did get my own copy. I actually started reading this already, and I'm in love. Emily Henry can never do anything wrong. I know this is gonna be a 5-star read. I just know it. And I've been on the hunt for a really good 5-star book, so I think this one's gonna do it. Do stick around if you guys want to see more in-depth reviews and just see my thoughts on all of these books. I will be doing more reviews, but let's go over all of the books that we just picked out. So the first book that we have is A Funny Story by Emily Henry. So from what I've gathered so far from what I've been reading is her ex-fiance actually left her the day after his bachelor party, which crazy, could not believe that, for his actual childhood best friend. So good. I can't wait to read more of it. And she meets this guy who is actually the ex-fiance's wife, ex-fiance. Something like that. Emily Henry does such an amazing job with just writing and storytelling that just makes you so invested in the actual story. Loved all her books, clearly. The only thing that I would say is I don't like her new releases being hardcover. I wish we had an option to buy paperback because most of the books that I have of hers are paperback, and the new releases obviously are hardcovers, and you have to wait like a year for them to come out because Happy Place just came out paperback. The next book that we're going to be reading is Check and Mate. This one I believe is YA, and basically she is a retired chess player, and so she comes back because this guy actually is, you know, being pretty popular in that world. So she's coming back, but you also have some backstory in her life, so you're just going through all of that, her dealing with that stuff because she is still in school. It's a cutesy little YA. I love Allie Hazelwood. Her books are just so good, so I'm intrigued to see how she writes YA. Stick around for future vlogs because some of these books might end up there. I don't know, we'll see. So for this one, I actually don't know what this one's about, so let me see first. Okay, prepares for a bicentennial celebration. The entire town is a bust. This is a place where everyone knows everyone, including Douglas Hubbard, high school teacher, and his wife. No, happy going, man. Okay, I really don't know what this one's about. There's this one thing that happens that kind of abrupts everyone's kind of like day to day, and they just, I guess, seek out different jobs. I don't know. This one's pretty weird, but I'm in for it. And then on top it actually says, what would you do if you knew your life's potential? I truly believe that this book is going to be an amazing book to read during this time. I don't know why, but I just have that feeling. The next book that we're going to be reading is The Inheritance Games. This one is beloved by so many people. This one is basically about Avery Grahams and how this one person ends up dying and he leaves everything to her, and his grandkids are kind of like, why is she taking everything? And so she moves in with them because it technically belongs to her. I think that there is like a love triangle in this series. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. The next book that we're going to be reading is The Butcher and Blackbird by Brian Weaver. This one is very interesting. So basically they are both serial killers, but they only kill people that are bad, which obviously doesn't justify what they're doing, but you're just going through all of that. It's very gory. The trigger warnings in this just makes you very much question what this book is about, and I've heard that there are some scenes that people might not be comfortable with, but I don't mind those kind of scenes. I actually enjoy them from time to time, so we'll see how I feel about with this book because cannibalism, that's all I'm gonna say. Why? How? And I just don't know. I have so many questions with this book, so I really need to start reading this pretty soon. The next book that we're going to be reading is The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I've had this book for a while as well, so I'm very excited to get through this one, but she's basically a ghostwriter and she's actually going through a really horrible breakup that makes her think that love is just not real. And so while during that breakup, she actually gets a phone call that she needs to go back to her hometown, which she has been trying to avoid. And she actually has to go back to the hometown because she has to attend a a funeral, and she sees a person there that is basically a ghost. And so she's trying to figure out what this random person is doing, why they're just hanging around. And so you're going through all of that. You're going through what this ghost is doing and why he's there. But then also she has to finish a book while she's there as well. So I think that they're both going to kind of like co-write this book and get some help from this person. If it's anything like The 5-Year Slip, I really do think that this is going to be an amazing read. The next book is The Book Proposal. I just read the back of the blurb and it's really funny. So basically she's going through a breakup, and while, you know, she's intoxicated, she actually ends up emailing her old crush from high school, and he actually emails back, which I just think it's so funny and kind of cute, honestly. So they're gonna meet up with each other. I think this one's gonna be a really cute little rom-com. It's a very small book too. So the last book that we're gonna be reading is Hello Stranger. This one is basically about Sadie. She goes through this tragic event where she ends up having face blindness, and she's kind of like in this love triangle between two people. I'm very intrigued. This one really doesn't say much other than love isn't blind, it's just a little blurry. Yeah, I just really think that it's just about her coping with her new life. I think this is gonna be a little bit sad but also heartwarming, so I really want to read this pretty soon. But yeah, these are all the books that we're going to be reading in May. Love all these different colors and just so many different books that we're going to be reading in the month. Let me know if you guys have read any of these books. No spoilers, please. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, night, whatever time you guys are watching this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.